Presented by in association with the PGA Tour. Welcome to the Stadium Course, TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. It's a masterful blend of challenge and playability designed by the team of Tom Weisskopf and Jay Morrish. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports.
The changes, Rich, they made in 2014 have just added a luster to this great venue that hosts the PGA Tour event each and every year. And it's a great test for any level of play.
Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports at one of the great venues in all of golf, TPC Scottsdale. Upwards of 500,000 fans expected throughout the week here. A lot of buzz being generated, and now plenty of fireworks as well on this back nine.
There is, Rich. This is a Super Bowl type atmosphere, and the 10th hole, what a wonderful way to start this back nine. A dogleg right that's been radically changed in 2014. Numerous bunkers added. This is a very strict dogleg right par 4, and by that I mean you're going to have to hit it down the left to have an open shot at this green. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
And from the rough, he manages to not only make the green, but get within easy striking distance of the hole. Shouldn't be a problem here. And he makes it for par. On to the par 4 11th hole. Frank, what's the best play here?
No bunkers really here to worry about, Rich, so you have to pick something in the distance as a good line. Something a little bit away from the water that protects the left side of this fairway. And it's adjacent to the 15th hole, the other par 5.
Unfortunately, that ball is wet. So hit the previous shot in the water, took a drop. This now the third shot. Frank, this is one you don't practice, but sometimes you have to do it. Time for the drop.
Yeah, it should be the easiest shot in golf. You've just paid for it. Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. Fourth shot, wants to get this close.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Good strike right there, right off the center of the face and about 20 feet away. And getting ready for the putt. That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine.
Frank, you know full well, this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
12th hole now, looking at 192 yards, par 3.
Won't quite play that distance because that tee shot is considerably downhill. But you really have to be cognizant of the wind if it's coming off the left, because it easily brings that water into play down the right should that tee shot just start moving with the wind.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
You see that kind of work from the bunker, you think of the greats like Seve Ballesteros and Gary Player, the best bunker players of all time. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. To the par 5 13th here at TPC Scottsdale. Lots of danger left and right of this tight fairway, Frank.
This hole has really changed over the years. There used to be a split fairway. That no longer exists. That bunker you can see down the left side, which you can't carry, really defines the left side of this hole. Water still in play down the right, and big change here is the bunkering along the left, front and left side of this green. So you can't just blaze away and comfortably expect to hit 13 and 2 anymore.
Frank, not where he wants to be, but not out of the hole here at the par 5.
No, but Rich, to drop a shot here would really set him backwards.
You like this one, Frank?
Oh, it's a good one. Safely on.
Has his par. At the 14th now, it's a par 4.
And a dogleg left once again. The bunker on the left side's been pushed out to the fairway to really make you think whether or not you can carry that. It's a lengthy second shot because it's going to play a little bit uphill. And this green is well protected on the left side with the two bunkers.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Regarded as a very accurate player, that shot says it all. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Good putt. Frank, what a day of golf we saw.
Yeah, the modifications to TPC Scottsdale is it presents better to the eye. It's certainly a better test for the player, and on top of that, it is a good reward when one plays well.
Really enjoyed it. For my partner Frank Nobilo and all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now from TPC Scottsdale. This is EA Sports, PGA Tour coverage coming your way. Simply put, there is nothing like it in the game of golf. It is by far the biggest spectator event in the sport. We're at TPC Scottsdale in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, everybody wants to know about 16, the famed par 3 here, surrounded by those skyboxes. Once again, that'll be a topic of the day. But really, this is a regular site for the PGA Tour. So those of you that were familiar with the golf course, it's now changed. 2014, the designers Morris and Weisskopf did a massive renovation.
Well over 100,000 fans every day, better than 500,000 for the week. It's a giant party mixed in with a heck of a tournament.
Second shot.
So toweled off, dried off, and ready to go.
Yeah, let's hope this swing he hasn't still got the floaties on.
Playing his fourth shot after the third was wet. He'll need to be strong with this.
Oh, that was solid, Rich. This one's safely on.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Struggling a bit with the flat stick and a drop shot here at the 15th hole. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
Frank, the one moment that sort of made the 16th hole what it is today would have to be Tiger's ace in 1997 here at the TPC Scottsdale when it was raining plastic cups.
It was also his reaction, too, and that ushered in the Tiger Woods era that we became associated with, which is the fist-pumping, the Rory spectators. I mean, he was one of the few players that bridged the gap between spectator and golf course. And it still goes on till today. And I think Rory MclRoy probably is the only other player that starts to broach that type of inside and outside atmosphere with golf.
Still to this day, it's the loudest single moment that I can ever remember hearing on a golf course. That is a solid par putt. Frank, when you get to the 17th hole, we always recall maybe the single most bizarre shot in the history of golf.
Yeah, everybody talks about maybe a hole-in-one at 16, but really 17. And the player was Andrew McGee. It was a good tee shot, don't get me wrong. But Rich, it needed an assist.
Well, the assist came from Tom Byram, whose brother Kurt is a commentator for the Golf Channel. Tom Byram was just minding his own business, standing on the green, sort of leaning on his putter, and you know what happened.
Yeah, the ball hit Tom Byram's putter and then careened into the hole. So, 17. Made famous, a little bit of history with a couple of names to drag up from the past.
Par yesterday, now for birdie. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Well, again, the fairways are lined with those huge galleries coming off 16 and 17. Now the finishing hole here at TPC Scottsdale. And Frank, what can we expect?
Well, this is a goodie. It'll play slightly as a dogleg left. Now, many a year, a player would try and carry the ball all the way over that water down the left side. But those new bunkers down there, it stopped the J.B. Holmes attack on this par 4. You're really going to have to play a little right of those now, and there's a couple of bunkers up on the hill to stop you doing that. So this is really a much tougher tee shot. 440 yards of par 4 just got a little bit more difficult.
Frank, this one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it, send it. That just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Either misjudged the win or simply just pulled the wrong club, Frank.
Going to take some skill now.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. Settles in over the putt.
Oh, now that is going to hurt. Even par currently.
No doubt would love to have this one back. That's a double bogey, 2 drop shots. Frank, we did see some good golf out there today, but others really struggled.
Yeah, any competitive player wants to win. We don't doubt that, but we know you're not going to win them all. So it's still important for every golfer to continue to gain experience, to actually get something out of each and every tournament they play in.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And now we go down to the first hole. Frank, you've been there so many times. Really nothing like the first tee of a brand new championship.
The thought of the unknown. The beauty of sport, you and the golf course. Doesn't get any better, Rich.
What's he need to watch out for here, Frank?
Those two front bunkers, Rich, the one that protects the left and the right. More often than not, you want to pitch the ball on the front of this green. They are the two to be concerned about.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. That one is in the bunker. You know how to play this shot, Frank, right? You keep your chin up, you look down your nose at the ball, you have to pick it cleanly, and keep your head still.
Well, that's the best that was going to be on the fringe.
Not too bad. Yes, he's holed it, Frank.
Unbelievable. From that distance.
Back to the action here at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Second hole, it is a pretty demanding par 3, Frank.
Goal really is to just carry that front bunker or sneak it a little right of that and try and cheat it around.
Good swing, good shot yet again.
And it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Frank, he has to be scratching his head as he reaches for a sand wedge or a gap wedge for his next shot.
Well, you know, the FedEx Cup, Rich. I mean, you're meant to get there by 10:30 tomorrow. That thing's still going.
Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation.
Locked in on the read and the speed. That's about as depressing a moment as there is in golf. When you miss the bogey putt, you know you're staring at double. Clean this up with a tap. So, 2 over par for the round. Now to the par 4 third, picturesque and difficult hole, Frank.
It might be picturesque, but it's certainly not for the faint of heart. This is going to take your best swing.
Water all down the left side. In the fairway here at the third hole. Frank, this is one of my favorite shots on the course here at Bay Hill, the second at number 3. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
He'll be pretty happy with that one. About 20 feet away in a good spot. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. We have already begun. Let's pick up with the action at hole number 4. Frank, you know this. You can't win a tournament in the first round, but you can lose it. As we catch up with our featured golfer, they need to turn this around just to make the cut.
And turn it around now.
Now the second shot to the par 5. Frank, tricky little third shot here at the par 5 fourth.
Especially if you don't have a full number, because there's just that little mound in the middle of the green. If you get on the wrong side of that, instantly you can be 30, 40 feet away. So check where the flag is. Is it front? Is it back? And then try and land it in that section.
So a tester from 4 feet. Good solid par right there. Frank, what's the play here off the tee? Is it driver or do you play it safe with an iron?
A lot of the times that's predicated by the wind, Rich. If you've got a trailing breeze, driver is very much in play. Otherwise, just poke a little iron down the right side.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
He has this attempt for par. Rolls in the par putt, stays at +2. Frank, back in 1998, by any chance, do you remember exactly how many golf balls John Daly hit into the water at the 6th?
It was half a dozen. Half a box of golf balls.
And from the fairway for his second shot here.
Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh. He went for the brief swim there, Frank. He's trying to stay dry now.
He is. Just trying to avoid water on the brain as well. This will take a good swing.
So this is his fourth shot after the last one found the water.
Yeah, it's not all over, but right now, too, he's staring down the barrel of a very bad hole.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Frank, pretty special for tour pros to get an invitation from Arnold Palmer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one thing to meet him. It's another to shake his hand, to be invited by him. That's as good as it gets. It's at sneaky distance.
Yeah, that really hurts, Frank. Missing the bogey putt.
Yeah, now time to get the handkerchief. Double bogey coming up.
Well, those will knock the wind out of your sails. Double bogey. Well, you're breathing a sigh of relief. Your round wasn't sunk at the par 5/6, and now you come to this par 3. It's just a little under 200 yards.
Yeah, aiming at the middle of the green's not a bad thing here, Rich. You can always putt to the corners and have a birdie chance.
You take 3 and walk off this hole to the 8th?
Well, you could get a little greedy. You know, a tee shot in the middle of this green is not too bad. You'll still have a birdie putt.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. That's a step in the right direction. Makes the putt and makes the move to 3 over. Let's move on to the 8th. And Frank, what's ahead here?
Big par 4, just over 450 yards. Ideally, you want to get it down by that bunker where it's nice and flat, because that second shot, you know what's coming up.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. This is the second shot at the par 4.
There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Looks like he just misread that. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Hasn't been easy, but he'll take it. That's a par. 3 over for the day. Finishing up here on the front side at Bay Hill with a lengthy par 4. And what's the key, Frank?
Well, the hole's relatively flat, but the rough on the right comes into play. If you can carry that ball 300 yards, then just take it in over the bunker.
So that ball nestles down in the rough. Just got away a little bit on that tee ball. Just in the first cut of rough. Not a bad lie. The only issue is he might get a jumper here. Not missing by much today, but enough to again be in the bunker. In the greenside bunker here, Frank. Nice to go to the beach, but not too often, we hope.
And that's where the men separate themselves from the boys. That was just a beautiful bunker shot.
That's skill right there. 3 over for the day. Back in Orlando, Florida at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge, getting set for the second 9. Frank, how do you get off to a good start?
Well, Rich, it's one of the shortest par 4s really at Bay Hill. 3 bunkers, but as long as you avoid those, it's a great birdie opportunity.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Headed for the bunker? Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Pretty good shot right there.
It's no snack, though.
Not too much and not too little. Perfectly played into the center of the cup. Another par 4 here, the 11th. It's just under 440 yards. This time, there's water looming left and then bunkers on the right-hand side. It's a pretty good challenge, Frank.
This hole's very similar to the third hole on the front side. 2 bunkers down the right side. Just got to keep it a little left. You don't have to hit driver here.
Frank, the second shot here at number 11, another good-looking shot, not unlike the third hole with water along the left. What's the right way to play this?
Obviously, you'd like to walk off 11 with 3, but 4 here never really hurts the scorecard. This is one hole you sort of play with an orange light feeling. A little right of the flag. That's absolutely fine.
You can see why this player has been compared to a young Rory MclLroy, featured golfer making birdie and now sitting comfortably inside that cut line. Frank, now we're at the 574-yard, par 5 12th. How critical are the par 5s if you're trying to put a score on the board here at Bay Hill?
They're crucial, Rich, because the par 4s are very, very difficult. So anytime you get a par 5, you've really got to take advantage of it.
Always so nice, Frank, when that gleaming white golf ball is sitting up on those emerald fairways, the way this one is.
The game almost appears easy when one is playing their second shot from the middle of the fairway, and you quickly forget how difficult it can be. You look left or right, the game becomes much harder.
So after the layup, Frank, here at the par 5 12th, hit shot here, try to make birdie.
Yeah, just use the contours of this green. You can actually get to this flag a lot of different ways. Using one of the mounds, there's nothing wrong with that.
Not enough on that one.
Yeah, just seem to baby it.
Fourth shot, wants to get this close. This one just requires a little bit of focus. That's costly right there.
Painful.
Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. So with that, 3 over par now for the round. Par 4 13th, Frank, you've played it on a number of occasions. How do you attack this hole?
really one of the shortest on the golf course, but this is a fool's paradise here. There's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Frank, this is still a mind-blower to me. Tiger won the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill 4 times in a row from 2000 to 03. You played the game at the highest level. How hard is that?
It's almost unimaginable to Rich because, Bay Hill changes each and every year when they have the tournament. But there was always also the look of resignation of the other players. There's never really been a golf course that really suits Tiger Woods any better. He hits the ball a long way. He hits it high. Greens are firm and fast. It's just built for him. And not only has he won it 4 times in a row, it's 8 total now.
This won't hurt him. Well, that is a ball-striking clinic right there. Another dazzling approach shot. Pretty close. So with that putt, 2 over par now. Another challenging par 3 here at Bay Hill. It's the 14th, 216 yards, Frank.
It plays uphill, prevailing breeze too, into your face, so normally much longer than its yardage.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
And Frank, that steady play continues.
Rock solid. Excellent approach shot.
He has this for par. Needs birdies at some point, but will take the par to stay at 2 over. We're here at the 15th now, and a big dogleg right on this one. Frank, what's the best route to take to shoot the low number?
You've got to look at that run out down the left side, which is about 320 yards. If you can stay short of that, then that gives you a perfect shot into this green. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Frank, what are you looking to do with this approach shot here at 15?
Anytime the flag's on the front, Rich, it's basically green light special. When the flag starts to get pushed towards that back area of that green, it starts to get narrower and narrower and narrower. And that's where you've got to be a little careful.
Well, we've seen this before today in the bunker. So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, whom you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was 1 inch or 2. Aim the club at that and made sure they followed through. Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Now the second shot to the par 5. look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading towards the hazard.
Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
So this is his fourth shot after the last one found the water.
Yeah, it's not all over, but right now, too, he's staring down the barrel of a very bad hole.
Putting all of his talents on display here from the rough, and he knocks it really close. Beautiful shot. And getting ready for the putt. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Frank, deep into a round, par 3 17th, water, bunkers, long shot. What are you thinking as you're stepping on this tee?
You just take 3 and move to 18.
What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea.
That is a beauty, a real beauty. This from 7 feet. Losing a bit of ground now in this tournament. With the bogey, falls to 2 over. Frank, the scene of so much drama through the years. The 18th here at Bay Hill. What's the key?
The fairway is rather generous, but once again it pinches in around 320, 330 yards. You've got to be cognizant of that. And of course that green shapes to the right, so good tee shot makes that second shot a little bit easier.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot.
Hazard?
Maybe wet. So toweled off, dried off, and ready to go.
Yeah, let's hope this swing he hasn't still got the floaties on.
Playing his fourth shot after the third was wet.
This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Trying to put this hole behind him quickly. Double bogey putt. Be looking to turn the tide tomorrow after a round of 76. And that'll wrap up the first round. We saw some good golf today, Frank, but some others, they got off to a slow start.
Yeah, and I don't really know how to explain why. Maybe lack of practice rounds, maybe not enough time on the golf course. They certainly will have to regroup tomorrow and put up a show just to make the cut.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. It's second-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We're at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida, site of one of the PGA Tour's premier stops, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Always attracting a great field, and through the years, it has been the scene of just some championship play from one guy in particular.
Tiger Woods has won there an incredible 8 times.
And now we go down to the action at the first. Frank, it's a new day, and that's the beauty of golf.
The great Peter Thompson once told me, good players really play poor 2 days in a row.
Offline, and I think that one's headed for the rough. Oh, look out, Frank. Where's this one headed?
This is definitely rough, Rich, off the tee.
So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think, you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Beautiful stroke right there. Finds the bottom of the cup with ease. Back to the second hole here at Bay Hill. Frank, long par 3.
And that green slopes so much from right to left, so you can actually use the contours of the green here. This looks like it's going to find the target.
That's one of the more depressing sights in golf. You hit a good one, and then it just sucks back too much spin off the green. Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. And he's made it onto the green. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Now to the par 4 third, 434 yards and plenty of trouble on that left side.
One of the hardest tee shots on the front side. Water very much in play down the left.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Second shot here at the third.
One of the narrowest greens at Bay Hill. Water, as you can see on that left side. So for the faint of heart, you're going to miss, if anything, to that right side. And that's exactly where they put a little bunker. So be very straight on the second.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. It's a good-looking putt right here. He might like it. Frank, I'm sure it feels good to get some red numbers on the card, but this tournament is probably too far out of reach at this point.
No question.
Rich Lerner with Frank Nobilo back at the fourth hole. It's par 5, the first one on the golf course, and Frank, a really good scoring opportunity.
It certainly is. 2 bunkers down the left. Just want to keep it inside that. If you flare it a little right, there's a hazard that just sneaks up on you.
Good tee shot right in the short grass. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5. His second shot. Frank, on an uphill shot like this one, did you do anything differently in terms of your setup over the ball?
Yeah, I made sure the ball wasn't too far forward because on an uphill shot, there's always a struggle to get all your weight going forward.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Frank, this game will drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can do so many things right, and then just something so simple, completely wrong.
Just a solid professional from Colleyville, Texas, in the Dallas area, Hunter Mahan, now just a couple of shots behind. Frank, at the fourth, we pulled the hammer out. Here, maybe it's a scalpel?
Well, it just depends. A little trailing breeze. A drive is not always a bad play here. 367 yards to the front. There's a little kick forward. So, wind behind your back, almost worth a go.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Well, that's how you play the game. Right there. Been pretty good all day from this distance. Just trying to take care of business. Count that for a birdie. On to the par 5 sixth hole. This is one of the signature holes here at Bay Hill. Frank, what does it take to stay out of trouble on this hole?
Well, I always thought horseshoes were lucky. Sixth hole shaped like a horseshoe was anything other than that. You fear a little left and big problems. Second shot.
All right, Frank, you've played it safe. Now you have that third shot. What's the best way to get to that hole location and make the birdie?
The angle of the green really does favor the layup shot because at least you're hitting across the length of the green, but it's a little bit like that third hole, a very narrow green. So once again, that wedge shot has to be very precise.
These putts keep the round together. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Well, you're breathing a sigh of relief. Your round wasn't sunk at the par 5 sixth, and now you come to this par 3. It's just a little under 200 yards.
Yeah, aiming at the middle of the green's not a bad thing here, Rich. You can always putt to the corners and have a birdie chance.
You take 3 and walk off this hole to the 8th?
Well, you could get a little greedy. You know, a tee shot in the middle of this green is not too bad. You'll still have a birdie putt.
This is an 11-foot putt. Not a problem from there, right in the middle. Getting ready to tee off now at the 8th, and Frank, this hole has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, even though it's a pretty hole, Rich, it's a fairway you must hit because that second shot here is one of the toughest on the golf course.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Nice position, short grass, second shot.
Hazard.
Maybe wet, so toweled off, dried off, and ready to go.
Yeah, let's hope this swing he hasn't still got the floaties on.
So this is his 4th shot after the last one found the water.
Yeah, it's not all over, but right now, too, he's staring down the barrel of a very bad hole.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Frank, here we go again. Another shot from the rough.
Yeah, let's see if he learned his lesson.
And he's made the green. Just the tap in to finish the hole. Frank, you know full well, this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
Finishing up here on the front side at Bay Hill with a lengthy par 4. What's the key, Frank?
Well, the hole's relatively flat, but the rough on the right comes into play. If you can carry that ball 300 yards, then just take it in over the bunker.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Frank, he's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy, but on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
Well, too bad. He'll have to play from the bunker. You know how to play this shot, Frank, right? You keep your chin up, you look down your nose at the ball, you have to pick it cleanly, and keep your head still. Well, the best in the game don't do it any better. MclRoy, Fowler, Duffner, they'd be impressed by that bunker shot. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
I don't know what happened there, but he missed it badly. Well to the right. Now his third, staring right at the green. This from 7 feet. Has his par. Another par 4 here, the 11th. It's just under 440 yards. This time, there's water looming left and then bunkers on the right-hand side. It's a pretty good challenge, Frank.
This hole's very similar to the third hole on the front side. 2 bunkers down the right side. Just got to keep it a little left. You don't have to hit driver here.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Headed for the bunker? He in the bunker, still with a chance for an up and down. Frank, there's nothing like catching a bunker shot just perfectly. Splashes out, lands softly, and just runs up to that hole.
Yeah, it's like 3D. There's the component in the strike where it's going to land, and then the third part of it is how much will it roll.
Frank, what's the best way to play this bunker shot?
Well, this fourth shot here, Rich, it's got to get that ball first, that lip in front of him. Make sure you carry that.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This for double bogey. Good putt. Frank, the par 5s here at Bay Hill so important. What's the 12th like?
570-odd yards. Tee it high, let it fly.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5. His second shot. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
So after the layup, Frank, here at the par 5 12th, hit shot here, try to make birdie.
Yeah, just use the contours of this green. You can actually get to this flag a lot of different ways. Using one of the mounds, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor.
Really. This is an awkward length. Just a little bit of a misread there. We surmise.
Frank, this has been an absolute mess today and all week long.
You said it best.
At the par 4 13th now, Frank, what's the key here?
Really avoid those 3 bunkers, Rich. You don't want a fairway bunker shot over water for your second shot. Ah, nice.
Looks good. That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Par 4 13th, Frank, how do you hit this approach shot?
Rich, it's the first par 4 at Bay Hill where the water is actually on the right of the green, and that has to be taken into consideration. Just a little errant shot, and then you're going to be wet. So a little left of the flag, that's where you want to be.
Bogey here yesterday, chance to better that today. Score that, birdie. Frank, I like a good par 3 over 200 yards, requiring that one good clean strike. And here's a good case in point, 216 yards, all you want.
Yeah, bunkered at the back, bunkered to the left side, a little collection area to the right. So really, in the end, you've got one choice. That's at your best.
Well, he's on the green, but still plenty of work left. About a 25-footer coming up. Back-to-back birdies, we'll see. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it.
Literally no error in that putting stroke. Good putt.
We're here at the 15th now, and a big dogleg right on this one. Frank, what's the best route to take to shoot the low number?
You've got to look at that run out down the left side, which is about 320 yards. If you can stay short of that, then that gives you a perfect shot into this green.
Now the approach shot, par 4, 15th hole. Frank, break it down.
Green narrows up the further back you go, so the most generous place to land the ball is in the front half of this green. It's also the flattest section of the green.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Well done. The Bay Hill Club and Lodge features a really exciting finishing stretch. 16 is a reachable par 5. You'll see eagles and birdies there coming home. 17, a very difficult par 3 over the water. The bunker is there. Takes an excellent shot. And then 18 is all you want. We know that with the water in front. That second shot which comes over the lake. And that's a hold your breath moment. It is a great finishing 3-hole stretch at Bay Hill. So the golf ball ends up in that first cut. It's a little bit less than 2 inches. You can see the golf ball. Should be able to get at it, but may not be able to control the spin. We'll see. That one is in the bunker. That's a disappointment right there, Frank.
Yeah, green light special, really. Come up considerably short.
Frank looks like maybe the greatest bunker player of all time right there.
Well, he's making a name for himself today. You could certainly put him up there with Gary Player, Severiano Ballesteros. That was just a great bunker shot.
Did the job right there. Frank, par 3 17th here at Bay Hill. How difficult is this hole?
This one takes your best tee shot, Rich. Otherwise, you're just looking at 4 or 5.
Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
Well, at least he can draw on the experience from the previous hole. Again, in the bunker. Now from the bunker.
Yeah, just a little splash out on this par 3.
Pretty good shot right there. Settles in over the putt. Never a bad score on the card. That's par. Finishing hole at Bay Hill. Frank, how good is this 18th?
Well, it's good because it makes you scratch your head. If you look at your score, your own personal score, and then fast forward, you've made a big mistake.
Good tee shot right in the short grass. Nice position, short grass, second shot.
This has to go in the hazard.
He needs to get up. Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
Playing his fourth shot after the third was wet.
The lie pretty much dictated the result. Thick rough, tough to get that all the way to the green.
Trying to muscle it out of there, but you had to be Schwarzenegger to get that one done. Little redemption chance here. Had bogey yesterday.
Really solid stroke.
So that is the end of the second round, and unfortunately, the end of the tournament for our featured player, missing the cut.
They certainly didn't hit the magic number here for the tournament. Fell below the cut line, and they just couldn't make it back. There's always next week.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. It's opening round coverage of the Alberta Classic. And now we go down to the first hole. Frank, you've been there so many times. Really nothing like the first tee of a brand new championship.
The thought of the unknown. The beauty of sport, you and the golf course. Doesn't get any better, Rich.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Good lie in the fairway. A good chance to make something happen here. Well, this is the kind of wind that separates the great players from the average players. You really have to be strong to handle these kinds of winds. And setting up here in the rough. Frank, it's not about getting the ball close to the hole. From that spot,
Well, he had no chance to get it close. I thought he had very, very, very little chance of getting it on the green. So given that, that was a very good shot.
that's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
And getting ready for the putt. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Already teed up here at the second.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Hoping to get this up and down here, Frank, at the par 3 after missing the green.
Yeah, it's not all bad.
Well, that's what separates the good players from the great players. The ability to get it that close from that kind of lie. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Shouldn't be a problem here. So, 2 over par for the round. Well, Frank, as we get to the third hole here at par 5, it feels to me like you need to be at a minimum 1 under through the first 3 holes or you're losing ground to the field.
You're exactly right. Chance here for birdie or eagle, too. This is one of those holes you can just wind it up and let it fly. And you'll certainly get a good reward with a big tee shot. Oh, I liked that. Second shot.
Wow, way to the right here.
And there's rough over there.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
That will be a great look at birdie. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. And now back over to the 4th. Frank, you know this. You can't win a tournament in the first round, but you can lose it. As we catch up with our featured golfer, They need to turn this around just to make the cut.
And turn it around now.
Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Solid play, heart of the green. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good. Line looked good. Just did not take that final break.
Not his best effort right there. That's a bogey, and now 3 over. Frank, what's the key here at the 5th hole? It's par 4, 424 yards.
The first real stringent tee shot of the day. 3 bunkers. First one not really in play. That third one in the distance, unless you're someone like a Bubba Watson, you should be able to aim at that and not reach it.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Frank, what are you thinking about on this approach here at the 5th?
Once again, with a good drive, you're left with a scoring club. By that I mean a short iron. Gives you a lot more options and a lot more flags you can go at. Even with a flag in the back left, with a scoring club in hand, you can virtually just go straight at that. The ball will not kick too much once it hits the green.
You can't hide the flag stick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline. Can't birdie them all, Rich.
Three over for the day. Frank, as we arrive here at the par 4 6th hole, reasonably short at 373 yards, a lot of golfers arrive at a hole like this and they'll think, well, I'm just going to blast it away because it's such a short 4. You think these kinds of holes require a little more thinking?
They certainly do, Rich. If you can't drive it to the front edge of the green, there's no point really trying to hit it through that narrow neck. You can just sort of knock a 3-wood down there, or something that's going to give you a decent yardage where you can at least spin that second shot. If you can guarantee that ball's going to stop when it lands, it's going to be much easier than trying to fashion some sort of pitch and run.
Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark. Should be safely on deck.
That's good stuff right there. Wonderful approach, and now a really good look at birdie. These putts keep the round together. It happens sometimes, Frank. They don't all drop.
No, but you try telling him right now.
Putt for par. Needs one. Has his par. Well, Frank, how about this hole? 602 yards of par 5, although I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. 602 yards these days for a long hitter.
What do you say? It's a drive and a 7-iron?
That's a mid-range par 5.
Well, yeah, 2 woods. The longer hitters will definitely get at home there, especially in good conditions. But bunker down the left, avoid that, carry that, and then we can think about the second shot. This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. That one ends up in the rough.
That went sideways.
That's a bit offline in the rough.
Rich, after you've already made one mistake in the rough, there's a chance he's going to make another.
Just trying to get it back out into the fairway and not make a big number. Pretty good shot right there. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Well, you could see he thought he had that.
It looked in the whole way until the end.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Always love to hear the sound at the bottom of the cup. Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole in the course immediately to the shortest hole.
Certainly, golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the overview the design of the green. When that flag's on the right, it's a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
On the green in regulation. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Missed on that one, Frank.
Yeah, not a problem.
Been a rocky road to this point. 4 over par on the round. So we'll round out the front side here at Banff Springs with a par 5 and reasonably short at only 501 yards.
So very reachable because of that yardage that you just referenced. Hole bends a little bit to the right. You can favor the left side with a tee shot. It's just going to make that angle on the second a little bit easier.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. And wait for it. Yes, 105 yards away. It is a windy day out here, Frank. My hat just blew off. This is going to affect the players' shots, that's for sure. Well, Frank, you hate to miss the green on a par 5 with your third shot.
Yeah, well, they say par 5s are the easiest holes to birdie, but the hardest holes to make 4. Making a 6, though, that certainly sets yourself backwards. So tough up and down.
Try to scramble here. He's given himself a chance for par. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
So a tester from 4 feet. Yeah, that really hurts, Frank. Missing the bogey putt.
Yeah, now time to get the handkerchief. Double bogey coming up.
Going to have to regroup now after that double bogey. Frank, the nice thing about golf is we have that little break in between nines. And if it's not going well, and that's the case right here, player has a chance to turn it around.
Yeah, this is where you have to dig into your memory bank. Obviously, what you've done wasn't working, so you know what not to do.
This has not been a great round as we head toward the finishing stretch here. You can tell the winds have really affected the shots out on the course. Let's see if they can muster something coming to the finish line. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Long putt here. This will require a good touch. That is an excellent lag putt right there. Had the speed perfectly. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. 6 over for the day. So off the long par 3 10th, we are at the 11th hole, 417-yard par 4, Frank.
It looks like a straightaway par 4, Rich, but if anything, the hole actually bends to the left, and you really want to follow that natural contour of that. Just sort of draw it off those bunkers on the right, or just simply carry it over the ones on the left. But ideally down the left side, it avoids that pine tree that's further down.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par. I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Shouldn't be a problem here. Frank, I thought that was in. That's costly right there.
Painful.
So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. Here at the 12th, par 4, 442 yards. Frank, what's ahead?
This one's called Big Boat. Hole's certainly a lot longer than the 10th hole, which is Little Boat. Dog legs to the player's right. A couple of bunkers down the left side. That first bunker on the left shouldn't be too much of a problem to carry. But once again, even though the hole bends to the right, you'd like to be down the opposite side of the fairway, which is the left.
All right, Frank, another chance to make something happen here at the 12th.
You could come in here a little low, try and skip it back towards the flag as it starts to narrow up to the back of the green. But anything a little underneath the flag, maybe slightly to the right of it, is going to be a better place to putt from.
It is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit directly at the flag. Now, test for the short game.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. So early on the backside here at the 12th hole, missed opportunity. Been a rocky round. Well, Frank, here's another pretty long par 3, the 13th here at Banff Springs, 225 yards. What's the right play?
Well, unless they have that flag all the way in the back, that first 2/3 of the green is just like a nice big circle. You hit it anywhere on that, you can have a putt of some 20-25 feet maximum for birdie.
Well, he's on the green, but still plenty of work left. About a 25-footer coming up. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. That was a good run right there. Almost went in.
At least he's seen the line as it went past the hole. So just replicate that on the way back.
Well, he knew it right from the start. Just a poor putt. Nine over for the day. Frank, this par 4 14th hole at about 440 yards will test you all the way up to that green, won't it?
It certainly will. It just looks like you should bash it over those bunkers down the left side, but the green pitches from left to right. So the best access is actually down the right side, coming in from that sort of right line. So don't be fooled here.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
This is a good-looking shot.
Repetitive is often sounds boring. This is just shot after shot, and it's anything other than that. Spectacular.
This is an 11-foot putt. Haven't seen that a whole lot today, but they'll take it, and they're at 8 over. Frank, looking out here on the 15th hole, this looks like a spot where you could really crank one that you could tell your buddies about.
It's another hole that suits a player that hits the ball right to left. It's no surprise to see why Rory MclRoy plays well around here. Nice, big, high towering draw. It's going to go that extra yardage because of the elevation.
Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
A good 200 yards away from a good lie in the fairway. That's a nice approach shot. It's about 15 feet away. A good chance for a birdie. Frank, I don't recognize this guy right now.
Yeah, that ship was sinking, but it looks like he's an excellent chance right now to right the ship.
A little bit of a misread there.
Yeah, it was makeable, that's for sure.
Getting set now over the putt. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Frank, the 16th hole, 414 yards, par 4, is nicknamed GOAT. Would that be greatest of all time, or is it just because the possibility you could see old Billy out there here in the Canadian Rockies?
I'd like to think it's the greatest of all time. I've never seen a GOAT hit a draw, that's why, and that's what's needed off this tee once again. The first bunkie should easily be able to carry that, and, well, if you're the greatest of all time, this is a fairway, you'll certainly hit.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Has this one for par. Everything has gone wrong today. Just continues to be ugly. Now to the 17th, 374 yards, and Frank, players might be licking their chops here.
They certainly would, Rich. Bunkers left and right, but they can be carried with an aggressive tee shot. It'll set up just a short on into a green that pitches towards you. So maybe just a little bit underneath the flag with a second shot. And really a chance to have a fast finish.
Frank, how about the second shot now to the 17th?
Well, the nice layback off the tee means you have a full shot in. You can go at virtually any flag now.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Just a pure strike, a perfect result. He'll have a good look at birdie now. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just trying to hang in there at 9 over for the round. Well, Frank, this sets up for an exciting finish here at Banff Springs, a 578-yard par 5.
There's just about a bunker in play for every length of tee shot here, so know exactly which one you can carry and exactly which one you cannot reach.
You can see a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. Frank made this hole just a little bit harder, hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough and into the thicker stuff.
Let's see if he can bludgeon this one out.
Wow, way to the right here.
And there's rough over there.
Frank not where he wants to be, but not out of the hole here at the par 5.
No, but Rich, to drop a shot here would really set him backwards.
Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Locked in on the read and the speed. Has his par. Well, that'll do it for today. Not a great performance, not on the first page of that leaderboard.
Yeah, the people on the top of this leaderboard are there for a reason. They hit more fairways, more greens. It sounds easy, and I know this is a difficult course, but that's the way it's going to have to be played.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the International Challenge. Located in Troon, Scotland, founded in 1878, Royal Troon Golf Club playing host to the Open Championship 8 times and is slated to host its 9th major championship in 2016. I'm Rich Lerner for EA Sports, and alongside me today, my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. Frank, you've played in the Open Championship on a couple of occasions here at Royal Troon. It's a golf course that features some breathtaking scenery, and it can also serve up some breathtaking golf.
True links golf course, Rich. Relatively soft start can certainly lull you into that false sense of security, and then the golf course really starts to open up. That homeward 9, often coming back into a prevailing breeze, is very much a stern test.
Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Wow, what a shot.
What are the chances of making it from there?
And ready to tee off here at the par 4, 391 yards second.
Yeah, it's not overly long. The biggest priority for the players is just avoiding the bunkers. All 11 of them, whether it be with your tee shot or the second hole. But at that modest length, it is very much a birdie hole.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. 115 to the hole. Frank, there was another playoff at Royal Troon 2004 in another case where a Hall of Fame player was beaten.
That's right. That was Ernie Els versus Todd Hamilton. Todd Hamilton won Honda earlier in the year. He'd left the Japanese tour, and he'd gone to the Open Championship actually full of confidence. But unbeknown to Ernie Els, he was going to be beaten by the use of the utility club. Remember, Todd Hamilton, time and time again, when he would miss the green, would chip with the utility club and beat Ernie Els in that 4-hole playoff.
And now we see so many players using that shot from just off the green. Frank, looking at the third, what are the sort of key decisions that you have to make?
There's 2 bunkers down the left. They're not really the issue. They're the burn. That's about 285 yards. This is not a hole, really. You just take the driver out and swing away. Just something that stays up short of that. It's just going to leave you a short iron there.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. Chance to get it close here. Frankie appears to be in control of his game in the early going.
I like what I'm seeing out there, doing all the basic things at a very, very high level, getting the ball in play. That helps set up the next shot. Next shot gets on the green. That helps sets up the birdie putt. It's one thing leading to another.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Player knows they're on the move with that birdie. Quick glance at the leaderboard. They can see, Frank, they're not out of it.
Things are very volatile right now.
And now let's go down to the action at the 4th. Couple of birdies already on the card. It's still early, Frank, but we've seen some solid play.
This is exactly how you want to start the first round of the tournament, Rich. Oh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
And now the second shot here at this par 5. Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
And who knows? It is a 4-round tournament, setting himself up for a good weekend, maybe a great one. The young star makes his birdie. Now to the par 3 5th. Frank, what are you trying to do here?
Really, anything on this green is going to give you a birdie putt. So allow for the bounce and roll. Just avoid those 3 bunkers on the left and that short one right. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie.
Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit. Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either.
And another good par.
Moving on to hole number 6 here at Royal Troon. Frank, what are the golfers facing at this long par 5?
Well, you've got to attack this hole in chunks, Rich. Just allow the mounding on the right to kick the ball forward, then try and position that second shot. Keep well away from that pot bunker that's a little bit short, about 30 yards right and short of this green. That is the one that causes the problem.
Set for his next shot from a good position in the fairway. This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity. Should be safely on deck.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Do that. Frank, we're moving inland now to the 7th hole. It's a 405-yard par 4. What's ahead?
Little dogleg to the right. A couple of bunkers right on the corner of it. So once again, check the breeze and somehow find that fairway.
Good tee shot right in the short grass. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
In the green side bunker, Frank, little bit of a problem.
Oh, that's off the beaten track. You got 5 minutes to find it.
Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation.
This from 7 feet. Suddenly, we have a tie for the lead.
A bogey there. It's not the worst you could make on a hole like that.
All right, Frank, as we arrive at the par 3 8th, the only thing I can think of is if a 71-year-old guy can make an ace here, well then, so can our gamers.
Well, they certainly can. At 123 yards, what do you think it'd be? Why shouldn't it be called the postage stamp? Go with too much club? It's one you'll airmail.
How about that shot right there from that lie in the rough to knock it that close? That's good. These putts keep the round together.
Well, really, Rich, right now it's just a case of running out of holes. Pars are fine.
Ready to go here at the 9th at Royal Troon Golf Club. 423 yards. What are you looking to do with this one, Frank?
Well, it's another one that's a dogleg left. It's called the Monk, actually, because it faces the village of Monktown. One bunker on the left, 285 yards to carry that. But it's not that you're trying to carry it. It's you're trying to cut the ball off that.
Wow, really off the mark. Missed the green here. And it is in.
Amazing. Amazing.
Excellent front side. Trying to keep it going here on the second 9.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Hole number 11 is called Railway. Frank, it looks as though it should be called Gorse because that's about all I see on this first shot.
Without doubt, the toughest tee shot you're going to face at Royal Troon. This is hit the fairway or start racking up a big score.
Frank, that was a good drive.
Well, it's going to take a good one here considering what they've already gone through, Rich. Right now, that green is going to look very small, so it's going to take a good shot here to give himself an opportunity.
Some really poor play to this point. Third shot, looking for a good one. Try to scramble here. He's given himself a chance for par. Shouldn't be a problem here. I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace. It's hard to be critical of that.
Just a couple of feet. Now slipping back into a tie atop the leaderboard after that bogey.
It's scary. Looks like they've found reverse gear. Not a good sign.
Gives up a shot, slides down into a tie for first after that bogey. Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, we were commenting earlier in the day that this round had really gone wrong. Are you surprised that he's been able to put it back together?
I certainly am. It lost his composure, his rhythm. So really to be playing this well so quickly after that, tip your hat.
Always a chance in this game. Starting to pile up the birdies. 5 under par for the tournament. Frank beginning to head towards home. This is the 13th of par 4.
Another dogleg right. Problem isn't really the tee shot here, even though there's undulations and mounds all over the fairway. Second shot's played uphill to an elevated green. This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough.
Rich, there's rough and rough. That ball is needle nosed down.
Can't even see it from here. You can see a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. All right, now another shot from the rough.
Yeah, this time better be better than the one we just saw.
And that one ends up about 25 feet from the hole. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Frank, he might like this one. He might like... Oh, he's going to love it, Frank.
Whoa, what a bonus.
Heading for home now, Frank. The par 3 14th, just under 180 yards. What's the key here?
Well, it's rather narrow at the front there. There's 3 bunkers, but it's the second 2 that you really worry about that narrow the front of the screen up. Plus, the front is slightly raised, so ideally you want it to fly more towards the middle where it starts to widen up.
Midway through this back 9, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Tough game, Frank. You can hit 300-yard drives and miss 3-foot putts.
Yeah, there's the ecstasy, and that's the agony.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Has it for par, stays at -5. Now at the 15th at Royal Troon Golf Club, 483-yard par 4. This, Frank, is one of the hardest holes in the course.
It's certainly a stout par 4 at that distance. If you're playing it into a head breeze, then 260 yards is certainly going to be a big tee shot. But 260 yards takes all the bunkers out of play.
Well, that was a beautiful drive, Frank. Really good position to take advantage.
Sitting up beautifully in the fairway. Second shot.
Now his third, staring right at the green.
Should be safely on deck.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. This from about 10 feet. Struggling a bit with the flat stick, and a drop shot here at the 15th hole. Drops into a tie for the lead after that bogey.
I'm going to have to shake that off very quickly.
Frank, here's the only par 5 on the back 9 at Royal Troon.
You'd think at 542 yards it would be reachable, but the burn that cuts across really limits the tee shot to about 280 yards. So it's very much about placing that second shot in a good distance for your third.
In the 1997 Open Championship here at Royal Troon, you played with Tiger Woods in the 3rd round. What did he do at this 16th hole?
He hit a driver for his second shot into a head breeze from about 270 yards. Managed to get it on the green, then knocked it in from about 45 feet for eagle.
You knew he was something special back then, didn't you?
Yeah, he was the only one that even tried that shot.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. "105 yards. Frank, I think what sets golf apart from other sports is that the fan can get so close to the great athlete as the round is being played.
Yeah, well, that's why the sport itself, and we consider it more intimate for that reason. You know, most golf spectators play the game. Whereas other sports, you don't see NFL players sitting in the grandstand. You see spectators, but most golf fans are golfers.
Solid play, heart of the green. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Not too much and not too little. Perfectly played into the center of the cup. Final par 3 here at Royal Troon. It's the 17th. And what kind of a hole is it, Frank?
Well, this takes your best long iron shot. Normally plays back into the prevailing breeze. You miss the screen on the left, it will run all the way down the hill. The bunkers might look short, but if your tee shot isn't hit properly, it'll puff up into that breeze and certainly find a pot bunker.
Tasty looking right there from just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from that.
These putts keep the round together. Four under on the day. Frank, how does this 18th hole here at Royal Troon stack up against some of the other finishing holes in major championship golf?
Rich, it's a stout par 4, 464 yards, so it's sort of in the ilk of a Muirfield or Royal St. George's finishing hole. They've had some great 18th holes in Open Championships. This is actually called Craig End. It's the name of the old farm that was demolished at the turn of the century. So the 18th hole, it's certainly grown up and it's flourished to more than a farm. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like.
Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, rough.
Tugged that one a little bit offline to the left, and he'll pay a bit of a price because that rough is fairly thick. Frank, you always talk about it not compounding the error, but here again, another shot from the rough.
Yeah, if you try again.
On the green with about 30 feet to go. Trying to grind out a par here. Needs it. So a tough way to close the round, missing a short putt and a bogey here at 18. Frank, that looked good to me. Yeah, that really hurts, Frank, missing the bogey putt.
Yeah, now time to get the handkerchief. Double bogey coming up.
Settles in over the putt. Finished with a very respectable 69 for the day. Don't forget, second round coverage coming your way tomorrow here on EA Sports. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the International Challenge. Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Second shot, good look at the green. It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. On the green. And a chance for birdie here on the first hole. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Headed in the right direction with that birdie.
Just sneaks into the top 10. It's a good move this week.
Frank, as we step to the tee here at the par 4 second hole, just 391 yards, but a classic case on links golf where the bunkering here is just so much different than a classic American layout.
And it's also where a change of strategy will certainly help. Remember, the ball's going to run much further here in Scotland than what it will in America. So you can use a shorter club and let that ball to run out to the normal distance you would hit it perhaps with 2 or 3 clubs more.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Had a birdie here yesterday in their close. Great opportunity for another one. Shouldn't be a problem here. And he makes it for par. Now at the third hole here at Royal Troon, and Frank, another sort of short par 4, just 379 yards.
Yeah, simplicity's the key here, Rich. You don't really want to hit the ball more than 280 yards. Reason why is there's a burn there. And then from there, still only a wedge into a green that has 2 tiers.
Well, he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
So a tester from 4 feet. It's good work right there. Par and inside the top 5, certainly within striking distance.
When you think from start of day one, it's gone through a lot of players now to sniff the lead.
Rich Lerner back at historic Royal Troon with Frank Nobilo, who's played the Open Championship on 2 occasions here at a golf course that goes back to the late 1800s. This is the first par 5, Frank, on the golf course, and you would think a chance to make a birdie and get that round started.
It certainly is. Dogleg right, 2 bunkers on the left. If you hit the ball a little bit straight, you'll certainly get into those pot bunkers. The one on the right, most people can carry. You carry that, this par 5, more than reachable.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This is a good-looking shot. That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus. You get the sense now with that birdie that our young star, so explosive, is setting himself up for a big weekend run. Now, the first par 3 here at Royal Troon, it's the 5th hole, a little bit more than 200 yards. What's the challenge here, Frank?
A lot depends on the breeze. Plus, remember, you've got to allow for the roll and the bounce here. So anything pitching on the front of the green, let that ball release or kick towards the middle and back of the screen. Sneaks that in. We're now tied.
All right, Frank, how about the 6th hole, long par 5?
Yeah, 3 bunkers off the tee. Avoid those. But if you hit a good one, certainly reachable.
Frank, it's a nice walk to make down the fairway when you can see your golf ball right there in the middle.
Rich, there's an old saying, fairway first. And there's another example. Hit it in the fairway, and the game becomes very straightforward.
Just a beautiful tee shot. Now his 3rd, staring right at the green. On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Birdie putt coming up. The par on this hole yesterday. I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace. It's hard to be critical of that.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it.
And another good par.
Ball's teed up, ready to fly here at the 7th.
Yeah, it's a slight elevated tee, so you see all the problems in front of you. A couple of bunkers down the left, 2 down the right, but it's links golf, so you know where you got to go. That's in between them.
And right in the fairway, and Frank, a really good lie.
No, it's just sitting up beautifully. You can get at any part of the golf ball, and it's going to make the second shot so much easier now.
All right, the winds are starting to pick up. Frank, you've played in conditions all over the world. What's the right way to approach it?
Well, you've really got to find out, first of all, the direction of the wind, and you have to be certain of it right now. And plus, if there's a gust, that's something you've got no control over. Safely on the dance floor.
This is a 9-footer. That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. But you can't afford to give away strokes coming down the stretch. Frank, here we are. All of 123 yards. It's a famous postage stamp hole.
It sits up there nice and proud. It's protected by 5 bunkers, but avoid the ones on the right. They're the deepest, all the way down on that right side. Should be safely on deck.
So a chance for birdie. after another solid approach shot. It's the beautiful part of golf. Brand new day, new hole. Remember, he made a bogey here yesterday, this time for birdie. Well, that was just a lousy putt right there. No other way to say it. Little redemption chance here. Had bogey yesterday.
Yeah, that's a good par there, Rich.
Frank, how does the front nine finish up with this par 4?
Well, the par 4 ninth is called the Monk. It's not overly long, 423 yards, dogleg to the right. Just one bunker down the left to be avoided.
And that sets up well for a chance at the green here at the 9th. Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Superb shot once again, and only about 15 feet away for a birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie.
Now a putt for par.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. They'll take it. That's a par. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he's thinking on that.
Nice approach shot. We'll be happy with that. Stroke that with authority. Frank, this 11th hole can be a real bear. Even the Golden Bear knows that.
Yeah, just to remind him, in his rookie year in 1962, he made a whopping 11. Now, I can't remember the last time I heard Jack Nicklaus made double figures on one hole.
Yeah, so maybe a bogey 5 or even a double bogey 6. Not so bad. Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
No putter, no problem. Slams that into the cup. Back here at the 12th, and this is a hole that heads back towards the water. You might not see your tee shot land over the ridge in the middle of the fairway here, Frank, so what's the best strategy?
Well, it's called the fox, and you have to be cunning like a fox here. This one has a slight bend to the right, and a little like the previous hole, this is another fairway that certainly requires your best tee shot. Yeah, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. In the thick stuff.
Thick? It's brutal out there.
Frankie's knocking them down and picking them up.
Oh, it's just taking pins out, one after the other.
Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. And he makes it for par. Frank, on paper, 13 seems pretty straightforward. but it's not that simple, is it?
No, very stringent tee shot. Gorse right and left, plus a little sort of mound with some rough on down the right side. So really, you've got to hit the ball down, not just the fairway, but the left side of the fairway.
Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
Superb position, right in the fairway, and 200 yards to the flagstick. Frank, this one's headed way right.
And rough trees, all sorts of problems on that right side.
Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Oh yeah, birdie, Frank, and another shot closer.
Sniffing in the right direction.
On the tee here at 14, it's another par 3, Frank.
You don't get caught looking at the front of the green. That's where it's at its most narrow. Ideally, something that pitches just into the top of that mound.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline. Well, birdies are hard to come by in this situation. So tight.
Keeps him right in the thick of it. Frank, now at the 15th, and how hard is this par 4?
The key really is to get the ball on the fairway here. Avoid those 3 bunkers, because this is one of the flattest greens on the golf course. Get the ball on the green here. Any putt's makeable.
Good tee shot right in the short grass. The second shot now to the par 4. Ready for his third shot. Needs to hit this close. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Settles in over the putt.
Comfortably knocks it in.
The back 9 here at Royal Troon has only one par 5, and here it is, Frank.
At 542 yards, you'd think it's reachable, but that burn cuts in at 280 yards, so it means you have to lay back. But I remember back in 1997, playing alongside Tiger Woods, and he still managed to get it onto the green from behind the burn. That was some shot.
You knew at that point he was something special.
He certainly was. He then knocked it in from 40 feet for an eagle 3.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Bogey here yesterday. Chance to better that today. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Well, Frank, it always seems to come down to this: your work on the putting green.
And there's so many things to consider, but first and foremost, speed. If you hit a putt firm, it's going to take less break. You hit it soft, it's going to take more break.
Wouldn't say that was his best, but not bad either. On the green and with a putt. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Continues to hold that sizable lead on the rest of the field. Frank, at the 1989 Open Championship, Greg Norman was in great position in that playoff with Mark Calcavecchi, and I believe it was Wayne Grady. What happened to Norman?
Well, he started off tremendous in the playoff. The playoff was 1, 2, 17, and 18. He birdied the first and the second hole. Missed the 17th green just on the left. Took 3 from the edge, which allowed Calcavecchi and Wayne Grady back in. Then took driver up off 18. It bounced just 1 hop too far and found that bunker on the right side. And, of course, the rest was history, and Mark Calcavecchi was crowned the Open champion.
The Great White Sharks so often so unlucky at major championships. Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. There you have it. The second round is complete. Another solid effort put together, and it shows on the scorecard.
And after 2 rounds, you really start to see not only who's playing well, but who's consistent.